My name is Kate Holmes. I am the consignment guru at Too Good to Be Through, which is tgtbt.com. And I'm honored to be here on the Kate and Colleen show. And my buddy over there is...
Hi, everyone. I would be Colleen. That would make me Colleen on the Kate and Colleen show. Boy, that would be funny if I said my name was like Elfreda or something.
Didn't I try to debut Cheryl or something one day?
Oh, yeah.
One day I called you by something.
Yeah, that's okay. That was kind of funny. Okay, so I'm going to shut that off. There we go. And so when I was on the show with Sonia, I mentioned that Sonia had some display cases, and I had suggested she get rid of the display cases. So I thought that's a great topic for a show today. What do you think, Kate?
Pretty good. We need to first define, though, display cases, because there are all sorts of different ones. So let's make sure we're talking about the same thing. Okay. There are full view display cases, which are glass from top to bottom, where you have to squat down and look at the bottom to see anything. There are half view, which are usually two shelves with a glass shelf in between. And then there are the kind of display cases that are basically a counter with a glass box on top that really just has one layer to display on, and it's only maybe 3 or 4 inches deep. So what kind did Sonia have?
So Sonia had the big display cases that you see like in the department stores. They're big and long, and you have to squat down to see what's in them. However, you can see through the top, so you can look at the top down. So I guess you would call those a full view display case.
Okay.
And that is what she had. And so I got a message from Jorenna Hardy, and I'm just logging on here so we can see, say hi to everybody who's watching us. So Jorenna had asked me about, she has display cases, and she was wondering if I was saying like, don't have display cases. And that's kind of like a really broad statement to say across the board, like, yes, you should have display cases, or no, you shouldn't have display cases. So I kind of, thought that would be a really good topic. And we've got some people to say hello to. We've got Angie watching, and Katie. Hi, Katie. How are you? Oh, Katie Hansen, by the way, everyone. Go and check out her Facebook page, Something Blue Bride. She got a brand new sign, and it is spectacular. Oh, my gosh, Katie. I'm like giving you rounds of applause right now because your sign is so spectacular. Okay. Anyway, so on the display cases, Sonia didn't really have a lot of super high-end items. And so when you kind of like add up the amount of merchandise that was displayed in the display cases, it didn't really make sense. Like, it was taking up a lot of room that could have been utilized to merchandise more money in that space. And the other thing about some of the display cases to look at as well is some display cases, like the glass gets really scratched up, and then that really doesn't do the merchandise justice. So I'm just not a fan of display cases when you don't really need them. Now, Ellen Didion is an actual, she's a certified gemologist, I believe. I might be saying that wrong, but she has very high-end jewelry, and she has to display a certificate of all of her jewelry, and that she's a gemologist, I believe. So in her situation, like, yes, like she absolutely has to have display cases. She has a lot of really high-end items. So that's kind of, and so I'm answering Jorenna, like, you kind of have to look at your display cases and say, like, are they really useful? Are we maximizing them? Because display cases, I think also I see a lot of times just get stuff thrown in them and they're not displayed very nicely. And then it just,
I'm afraid that
so things get sold out of them. Colleen disappeared. I know. Is it back?
Yeah, you're back now. Well, no, you're back on me. You're not back online.
Oh,
So let me talk a little bit while Colleen fiddles around. I believe that there certainly is a place for showcases, and I certainly agree with Colleen that they need to earn their keep by square footage. And that involves, of course, you're paying attention to what's in your cases and what sells, because it's not as easy as pulling up a report that says showcase. Scratches, of course. Oh, you're back. Good. Scratches, of course, it's very, very expensive to replace the glass top on a showcase. So I always recommend that you do what Tiffany's does, which is use a flat pillow of some sort, a pad, when you show things in your showcase. Showcases certainly do have a place in stores. They can be an impediment to traffic. So there's no such thing as a resale rule that you should not have showcases. That's not a resale rule that we need to follow. It is a resale myth. Either way, even if you are not selling very expensive things, a showcase will protect you from shortages, from fumble fingers if you've got very delicate items that you don't want that 10-year-old who's bored with his mother shopping playing around with. So there's a place for showcases, and you just need to stop and take a look at what your showcases are doing, whether they're adding to your look, to your image, to your branding, or whether they are, like Colleen said, they turn into just a storage unit. So that's my take on showcases.
yeah. And so a little bit more on that as well is I know that in this industry, we get really excited when a store goes out of business and we can have the opportunity to buy up their fixtures at a really inexpensive rate. And I really want to just say, like, just because it's really affordable doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out and get it. Because I don't know about you, Kate, but I personally have never seen a showcase that's been moved that doesn't get damaged in some way, shape, or form. It's just, it's a big, heavy object. It gets clunked around sometimes, and then you get dings and scratches, and that can all be fixed up. But again, like, that all affects like the image of your store, and that all affects, like, customers see that. And so the other thing too, and I don't know, Kate, maybe, you have, I was going to say something to say about this, but that's a silly statement because you always have something to say. But here's what we find, and what I'm finding a lot of is a lot of stores have showcases that they use as part of their point of sale. And so people, like customers, are throwing down their stuff on the case, and it gets like really, really scratched. So I love what you said about Tiffany's, and I think that's a really great point. I don't know if you have any other, suggestions about preventing the glass other than replacing it. I know, like Melissa, for example, I think it was Melissa, like, replaces her glass every so often for that reason. But and let's see, we have a couple comments here. So we have, like, hello Paulette, Kimberly, Jennifer, Jana. Leslie is commenting, I have had issues with the lighting in my display cases bleaching color from products. Looking for a solution to that little problem.
Well, you're lucky that you've got lighting. A lot of stores are always asking me, how do they light their showcases? Because the showcase they have doesn't have lighting in it. Fortunately, now with LED lighting strips, that is quite often easily solved. As far as lighting bleaching things, if it is LED lighting, it shouldn't be bleaching things unless those items are there for months at a time. So perhaps that might be the problem.
Yeah, and also, Leslie, I don't know if you're getting any sunlight coming in through your cases. Maybe that might potentially be an issue as well. I don't know. But if you use LED light, so if you're having an issue with the lighting and your display case is bleaching the color, I would say stop using that lighting and switch over. You can actually go on Amazon and just Amazon search LED strip lighting, and it's got a sticky backing to it, and so you can, like, stick it up along the inside so nobody can see that it's, no one can see how it's attached, and it looks like it came with the case, and it's actually very gorgeous. Do you have anything to say on that?
No, the LED lighting is available even at Home Depot and places of that sort. So you can go there and take a look at it lit and see whether or not you like it. I guess that's pretty much it as far as showcases go. You certainly don't want them banged up. You certainly don't want them scratched. You can, if the scratching is minimal, get away for another year or so without paying the hundreds of dollars to replace it by using Johnson's paste wax on the glass. Doesn't last forever, but it does make it look good for a while until you can tuck away a few bucks every day to pay for replacement glass.
That's a great idea. Johnson's paste.
Old-fashioned paste wax.
Glass. Well, there you go.
The kind your grandmother used to use.
Awesome. Okay, so that's an awesome fix, Kate. We'll have to make sure we type that up in the comments later because I'm sure someone will want to know what that is.
And showcases also.
No, go ahead. Go.
I was going to say, showcases also do help with the shoplifting and with the breakage. Even if you are a shop that doesn't carry very expensive items, you might want to put smaller items in there. I've seen shops put their supply of new merchandise, such as baby pacifiers, things of that sort, in the showcase nicely, not in the box that it came from the manufacturer, but so that it's attractive and people will buy it. So again, I say, getting upset because one store's suggestion was to get rid of a showcase may or may not apply to you.
Yeah, it's really on a case-by-case basis, so don't.
Oh, that's a terrible pun. Let's go on. Let's go on to mannequins. I love mannequins.
Funny today. I love mannequins too, but what I don't love about mannequins is I would just like to say styrofoam is for drinking out of, not for mannequin heads. Like, I am not a fan of styrofoam mannequin heads. Like, I just am calling it right there. That would be something that I would say, if you have styrofoam mannequin heads in your store, please just, I don't know, use them for something else. Like,
I have a wonderful idea of what to use them for.
What?
Actually, those styrofoam heads are actually wig heads. And the reason they look so bad, number one, of course, they get banged up and get dirty, but they also are designed to be a bare head. So when you put a hat on a bare head, you know what happens. If you've got a father or a grandfather or a husband who doesn't have any hair in his head, you know he takes a much smaller hat. So yeah, the styrofoam wig heads are not something that you want to use in your store, but I have a whole collection of wonderful things you can do with that and have a contest. So remind me and I'll post that over on the Too Good to Be Through page.
Okay, perfect.
Contest.
Perfect. And the other thing about mannequins is that, again, it's the same thing. A lot of stores buy their mannequins because they got them from other stores that went out of business. So try really hard to do whatever you can. Like, I see a lot of mannequins that have scratches and black marks on the shoulders and things, or have arms and limbs missing. And I think that it doesn't really do justice to your store. And so I think it's really a great idea to either get your mannequins really, really clean and make sure that any exposed areas don't have any marks and things on them, or paint them. There's some great paint on the market nowadays, and I know of some other store owners who paint their mannequins like different, whatever color scheme you have, but paint your mannequins, and that way you also get this lovely uniform look. And I don't know if I said this or not, but please, if you have a mannequin amputee, like, try not to use it, or try to do something that doesn't make it look like that. With all due respect to any amputees who may be watching our show, I love you, I feel for you, but we just don't want to have mannequin amputees. Oh, wow, good thing we're not on public television. I might get some calls from some amputees.
Well, people do have very, very strong feelings, and I see that going on your page today, actually. If we can do a little digression here. Somebody posted, I think it was Christy Hickey, posted a picture of her puppies on the sectional couch, and she said this was a great way to sell a sectional, and I disagreed. I thought that people seeing dogs on a couch for sale was perhaps not the best thing to use to market your store, and I got dumped upon by all sorts of dog lovers. Now, it's not that I don't love dogs. I adore dogs. I adore cats. I adore llamas and horses and goats and birds. But I feel that people already have a little bit of an issue with buying upholstered furniture from people they don't know through a resale shop, and photographing your puppies on a couch may not send the right message. Now, whether or not you agree is not the issue, but the issue is when you do something in public, mention that you don't want a mannequin amputee or show your dog on a piece of for sale merchandise, you are going to get dumped on. And that's part of the problem with display, with mannequins, with showcases. Whatever you say, someone's going to disagree. So I want to go back and talk about the fact of painting the mannequins. I love painting mannequins same color. Not trying to make them look like flesh, not trying to make them look realistic, but have a lacquer red mannequin or a bright leaf green mannequin. And you can mix that up. You can have a bright leaf green in the spring. You can have it burnt orange in the fall, whatever. If you want to go through with those colors, it's great. There's a wonderful website that has a wonderful Pinterest board, and on their website as well, with great ideas of how to take an outdated mannequin, make it look up to date, make it look boutique-y, make it look a little bit elegant or perhaps a little boho. And the name of the website, Anita, are you paying attention? Have you got paper and pencil ready? Is mannequinmadness.com. Mannequinmadness.com. And they show all sorts of things. They also, by the way, sell bits and pieces of things. And I always recommend to people that they do get extra mannequin hands, even if the hands don't fit your amputee. They do wonders in your showcase. If you happen to have a showcase in your store, you can drape pearls off of it, you can put a bracelet on it, and so on.
But cover up the missing part, because otherwise it looks like a little bit weird. Oh, Vina agrees with you, Kate. On the
thank you.
So you have one person in your corner. I, on the other hand, I have a contest going on right now about how do you use your pets in your store and in your marketing. So we're having a contest on the consignment marketing page. It runs through August 15th. I've got a really great prize to give away. So if you do use your pet or your dog in some form or fashion in your marketing, whether it's on a couch or not on a couch, or however you use your pet in marketing. And it all stemmed from a photo that I received in my email of a cat on Etsy who's wearing a taco tie, and it received like 50,000 likes and views. And then that got me thinking about Scout, and Scout is a very, very famous dog on Instagram. And Scout's owner one day balanced a pizza box on his head. And from there, like Scout's owner would just take pictures of Scout and balance all kinds of crazy stuff on his head. So you would tune in every day. You would just go to Instagram and be like, what is Scout balancing on his head today? Like everything. It was crazy fun. Anyway, so that inspired me to have a pet contest. And we've got some great submissions. And I forget her name, but for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, she actually gets her coat,
Natasha.
Yes, and so she's got a little pink dog, and I have a girlfriend who used to do the same thing, and then people come in her store and love taking a photo with her little pink dog. So if you use pets in any way in your marketing, however you use them, take a photo, share that photo, put it on our Facebook page. We're going to have a contest, put it on our group, Consignment Marketing. We're going to have a contest on April 15th.
August 15th?
August 15th. Yeah, whatever month is next that begins with A, that's the month we're starting the contest. Anyway, so, all right, so mannequins. And what else? I mean, gosh, I feel like there's so much else we could say about mannequins.
Mannequins, oh my gosh, there certainly is. What do you put on a mannequin to start with? How do you accessorize it to end with? what you put on a mannequin to start with is something that looks better on a mannequin than looks in the hanger. Things that are kind of droopy look so much better on a mannequin. Things that have some sort of frontal interest, whether it's appliques, whether it's embroidery, whether it's color blocking, something of that sort, looks so much better on a mannequin. Not only because you want to sell that particular item, but also because you want to show that the store has interesting items in it. To put a plain item on a mannequin is kind of a waste of time. You know, you really do need to put something on there that really catches their eyes. And in addition to putting that dress or that tunic, whatever you're putting on the mannequin, you need to accessorize it. And you need to accessorize it into an inch of its life. You're not accessorizing for your mother. You're not accessorizing for your 12-year-old daughter to go to school in. You are accessorizing for, you know, what the hey, I am such a wonderful person. I'm walking down the street and the photogs are getting me. You need to really make a statement with your displays. Don't be afraid to go overboard. Don't be afraid to ask one of your staffers or even one of your most trusted customers. Gee, you know, would you dress my mannequin for me today? Do you have 15 minutes to give me to dress this mannequin? And of course, you'll probably have to help a consumer dress the mannequin because mannequins can be tricky. But you want to listen to her when she says, "Oh, let's use this scarf and this bag and these jewels," that kind of a thing. You know, really, really make your display, your mannequin, be a wow factor. Make it so gorgeous that you have to put it on your Facebook.
Yeah, so I think you just said the magic words, the wow factor. So me personally, the minimum I think you should ever have on a mannequin is three things minimally. Like I'm a big fan of layering it up, and I actually like to see like 5 items on any mannequin. That really gives you the opportunity to accessorize. So Kate, we have Katie Hansen wants to know if anyone has a good source for plus size mannequins. Do you want to repeat your website again? Maybe she'll find them there.
Yeah, mannequinmadness.com not only sells new mannequins. In fact, I'm not even sure they do sell new mannequins. They do recycle used mannequins. Unfortunately, they're in San Francisco. So probably shipping a used mannequin from San Francisco to wherever you are, Katie, might be cost prohibitive. There is such a thing too as padding. You can take your mannequin and you can pad her up. You can put an old pair of bicycle shorts on her and stuff her full of bubble wrap, and you'll have, you know, size 14 hips instead of size 6 hips.
Let me tell you how much padding you need there, Katie, to go from a size 6 to a size 10. I can measure that for you. And Vina says, I read that it's best not to use mannequins with heads. Oh, she says or hair, but I think she means heads of hair.
No, she means heads or hair, both. There's a couple schools of thought. Headless mannequins theoretically allow the onlooker to put her own head imaginatively on that outfit and to imagine herself in that outfit. Mannequins without hair, the molded, sculpted kind of art installation looking mannequins are very much in vogue nowadays. And of course, mannequin wigs are expensive and easily damaged and not easily found secondhand. So you might want to avoid having an outdated wig on an updated mannequin. Again, reading rules like that really doesn't apply. In your case, it's what suits your branding. If you have a very, very traditional shop in a very, very traditional town, having a headless mannequin might look a little weird. It might look like that amputee, or vice versa. You know, it depends on how your people react.
A headless mannequin's a little more than a amputee.
With her head tucked underneath her arm. Well, just think about it. If you have headless mannequins, you can call them Anne Boleyn and Jane Parr and, you know, all those lovely ladies that lost their head over Henry VIII.
That's what we could call them. We could, yes, name them all the Henry VIII's beheaded wives. collection?
I think the main problem with mannequins in resale shops is that mannequins are not the easiest thing to dress and undress. So if you only have one of something, so if somebody wants to buy the outfit that's on the mannequin, you have to undress the mannequin. And that means time away from being on the sales floor, being distracted from something that's going on in your store, which is a possible problem with shoplifting, and also just the shopkeeper or the staffer's reluctance to sell the darn dress. Oh, that dress fits funny. You don't want it.
Because they just got her dressed, or
yeah, because
take the arms off and the legs off and blah blah blah. I personally love those the dress forms. That's my personal favorite. And I think with a dress form, you can really get funky and do a lot of really super cool stuff with it. So that's my own personal opinion. So if you have the opportunity to buy things, I say go for the dress form. What do you say?
Yeah, dress forms are a lot easier to deal with, and then you don't have that problem of lost fingers, lost heads, paint that's not looking very fresh or nice on it. Another thing that I'm really, really strong about as far as display goes, Colleen, you and I didn't talk about this earlier, are the vacuum forms, the torso forms that are clear plastic that have just the front half of a body that I know, for instance, Melissa does a wonderful job using those on her prom dresses, especially prom dresses that have lots of straps and so on. Those 3/4 forms, they usually go down to just below, just the top of the thigh, are wonderful for showing a lot of things. They certainly should be at the front of every 2-way and 4-way, at the front of every long H rack, on your walls. You should be using those forms. They're inexpensive. They're less than $8 a piece. Buy them by the dozen. Use them by the 2 or 3 dozen. You will see such a difference in what people think of the sweaters, the kimonos, the tank tops, anything that just kind of hangs there on a hanger. But once you've got some form to it, looks much more enticing. I would buy those 1,000 times faster than I would buy any mannequin.
Oh, that's great advice. I'm so glad you brought them up because I totally forgot to mention that. So that's awesome. And it really adds like that finishing touch to your store as well, because you have these cases, sorry, you have the hanging rods and racks, and they kind of just have these ends on them, and there's always an opportunity to hang something. So it's almost like, I feel like it's like a bookend, so to speak, on your racks. It just kind of looks really nice and gives it that extra little finishing touch. So yeah.
That's a great terminology, bookends.
Bookends, yeah. All right, Kate, we have 2 minutes left. Does anyone have any other questions? We've got lots of fabulous viewers today. Anyone have questions, comments, anything to say, add, anything?
And while you're typing, I'll talk about Colleen and I actually planned ahead this time around. This is so exciting. We very seldom plan ahead. Next week, which would be August 1, whatever, next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about signage. And signage, again, just like display, just like showcases and mannequins, is a lot more important to your branding, to your image, and to your actual ability to get that cash register ringing. So Colleen's waving. I don't know whether she's waving goodbye, whether she's waving to folks, but is it time for us to leave?
I was waving to Nancy. Nancy just joined us. I was just waving to Nancy. So also, if you have questions about signage, if you can put them on the bottom of this thread, or Kate, maybe you can start a thread on your group as well. Your Facebook group is called what?
tgtbt.com.
So either talk about signage on this thread at the end of this video, or Kate will start one on her page and ask us any questions that you would like addressed about signage, and we will be happy to talk about signage. Angie says, great eyeliner, Kate.
Thank you, dear. I really was inspired by you. I didn't do the underline part because you're younger than I, and I don't think old ladies are supposed to have eyeliner in the bottom. I don't know. I have to look that up on Google. Makeup for older ladies. But I was inspired. Does it look good? Seriously? Or are you just being
Yes,
kind?
okay, awesome. So Katie's already starting the conversation. I want to know about indoor signage. You got it. We will talk about that. Keep the questions rolling.
Yeah, Katie, that was what we had in mind, was indoor signage.
Indoor signage. And Kate, start a thread on your page and ask people about questions about signage so we can make sure to answer them next week.
Perfect.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching the Kate and Colleen show. Have an awesome week. Have tons and tons of sales. And any last minute words, Kate?
Like my mama used to say, go out there and sell something.
All right, see you, everyone.
Bye now.